Hey guys, what's going on? This is Deadly. Welcome back to another Ask Deadly. This is the weekly show that I do where I read some of the questions that you guys leave me in the comment section below and do my best to answer as many as I can in about 10 or 15 minutes. So let's get started. First question comes from Tech Testing. What YouTubers / streamers do you watch, if any? I watch most of my Twitch at night with Shelby typically, so I don't sit down and watch that many DayZ broadcasters or YouTubers. I would say my favorite Twitch broadcaster right now has to be Dr. Disrespect. There's just nobody out there at his level of entertainment, I believe, right now, and one of the funniest and most entertaining broadcasts I've ever seen. So if you don't know who he is, check him out. He's an H1Z1 CSGO / variety shooters kind of broadcaster, but primarily does H1Z1 King of the Kill. Next question comes from Coops HD or Coops HD. If you had to pick one town to stay in, what would it be? I'm assuming he's talking about in DayZ. Probably Novi. If you just wanted Novi or Steroy, maybe Steroy actually. If you just wanted one town to play DayZ in and you didn't want to ever leave that town, definitely Steroy. I would say if you stayed there for a 5-hour period, you would probably run into a lot of people and possibly get some kills or some deaths or just a whole lot of action and all sorts of madness. It's one of the most popular towns in DayZ right now because of the military base being so close to the coast. A lot of questions coming in from Kami Mince. Spaghetti or linguine? Spaghetti. Will I ever play with Herbert again? Maybe. What's your favorite candy? Skittles. Do you ever shot a real gun? No, I haven't. Are these questions annoying? No, they're not. Will you ignore this? No, I won't. If you're Canadian, why isn't your head like in South Park? Graphics. I just do effects and graphics to cover the split in my mouth. Consider buying a Mosin 9130. I have deeply and might in the future. Sincerely, Quality Sweater Salesman. Well, thank you for all those questions. I hope I did a good job in answering them. Next question comes from Danny Boy. Deadly, I've got over 350 hours in DayZ and I've never found an M4. Where's the best place to find an M4 or SKS ammo? And I love your daily streams. The best place to find an M4 is Tizzy Military Base, and the best places to find SKSs is probably Zelenogorsk and Lapatino Checkpoint area. I would say Lapatino Checkpoint is the best place on the map for 7.62 by 39 SKSs and CR527s with magazines. Next question comes from Quay Quay. How do you memorize places, like exactly where you're next to or where your enemy is going? It seems like you know every single tree line and bush. I do have 1,000 hours in the game, but I still can't navigate myself without a help of a map. So what's the secret? Well, I play a lot and have about 4,000 hours, and Aces and I and a number of our other squad mates, we take pride in trying to understand all of the locations on the map and create critical callouts for the most popular spots in the game. So it's just being in that mindset all the time what makes it really easy to learn and navigate the map. Just continue playing and eventually you'll get to it. Next question comes from Sir Tib. Hey Deadly, fellow Canadian here from Victoria, BC. Which part of Canada are you from? I'm from Atlantic Canada, specifically Prince Edward Island. I was born here. I grew up mostly in Ontario, Southern Ontario, and then moved back here in my mid-teens to do high school and university. And I love it here. It's one of my favorite places in the world. It's just so chill and laid back, and you're just kind of tucked away from the world, which is kind of nice. Next question comes from Clean Sweep Gaming. What would you think about different shoes affecting your movement speed? For an example, combat boots would let you move a little bit quick in grass, mud, and sand, hiking boots on stone and underbrush, and sneakers on hard surfaces. That's an idea that I've had for a long time, but I'm pretty sure that's the intent. So I know it's not introduced yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what the developers want to do and have wanted to do since the beginning of the game. Now, mind you, you're not going to have significant differences between somebody who's wearing running shoes opposed to somebody wearing combat boots on pavement, for instance, but it will make a slight difference where if you're getting chased by a guy with melee and you got your running shoes on, you should be able to evade him quite easily. I expect that to come in the future. Next question comes from Brundy Maximus. I'm a longtime sub on YouTube, great content. Was watching your stream on Twitch the other day and made a comment for the first time and got permanently banned. I'm 30 years old from Ireland. I wasn't up to date on what's acceptable in the chat regarding my comment. I think a permanent ban was quite harsh. Well, I need to know what you said because I'm actually the only one who really permanently bans people unless someone's being outright racist. So if you get permabanned from my channel, you've really got to be trying hard to. And if not, there's been a mistake. So if you could let me know exactly what you wrote, or contact one of the mods next time that you're in the channel, that's what I would recommend. Next question comes from Stephen Ming. I need tips for looting Tizzy. Every time I go there, there's always a sniper, but I make it away with the same character. Any tips for dealing with bandits at military bases? I think the most important thing to do at military bases sometimes is to be patient. Get into an area, take your time, overwatch before you go into tents, because you never know, you might spot somebody who's doing the same thing, or you might hear gunshots or see zombie aggro, but just keep your eyes open. That's probably the most important thing. And sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes people are going to be camping tents or certain locations for hours at a time, and there's nothing that you can do. Just try your best to kill them, or just keep leaving the area until they decide to log off or leave themselves. That's all I can really recommend. The next question comes from Eskender. Why do you like the Mosin more than the Winchester? Because the Winchester can be equipped with a hunting scope while the Mosin can't. The Mosin does more damage than the Winchester, and the PU scope is really not that bad because you're going to be engaging targets for the most part within 300 meters, 400 meters anyway, and that's what the PU scope is designed to do. So you don't always need a hunting scope to be a successful sniper in DayZ. A PU scope works just fine. So for me, sometimes I want that extra power rather than that longer range accuracy. That's why mainly I prefer the Mosin over the Winchester. Well guys, actually that's going to be it for the questions. There wasn't as many questions left on my most recent video because it was done live. So if you guys want your questions answered next week, then please do leave them in the comment section below. I guess I'm just going to be leaving this video off with just something to say from some of my most recent content, and I feel like I wanted to address it. It's becoming more frequent on my channel where I'm seeing people who are questioning banditry, cannibalism, and some of the more negative sides to DayZ. And I know that there's a lot of content creators out there that have painted a picture about DayZ where it showcases mainly everybody being friendly all the time, people working together, and there's absolutely like no banditry going on at all. And in theory, like if you're playing a multiplayer game, like a co-op game, that makes a lot of sense. But DayZ, other people have to be the antagonists. And sometimes it's a hell of a lot of fun to be that antagonist. Because if you don't have those enemies, then all you have is zombies. And we all know that zombies are not the most, well, actually zombies and wolves. And we both know that zombies and wolves are not always the best for making intense situations. A lot of times they're really buggy, and once you learn how to defeat zombies and wolves, they're actually quite easy and not much of a threat. Other survivors will always be the primary threat in DayZ, and that is just the way the game has been designed. There was never a time in the game where bandits were not a part of the experience, and some people prefer to be bandits. If you want to go in and do firefights and kill other survivors, you should be able to. And what I don't understand is there's a large, I guess it would be a large minority, because most people who play DayZ understand this, but there are a few that don't. There's a large minority of player base that believe that bandits should not be in the game at all. And that kind of drives me a little nuts because I feel like all of those individuals just simply don't understand the game that they're playing. So when I do videos where I poke somebody in the face with a stick on the coast and I steal their beans, things like that cause a ridiculous amount of outrage, and I just don't understand why. So my suggestion for folks, now most of the time, if you're going to be watching this Q&A video, you're most likely already on board. You understand these really core basic concepts. But all I'm saying is the next time you see someone making an ass of themselves, communicating about like what DayZ is, and completely neglecting the fact that bandits have an equal role as the primary antagonist in the game, please do the community a favor and let people know that this is not just a game of being 100% benevolently friendly. There's an equal negative antagonist, darker side to this game that needs to be there in order to provide the balance that DayZ needs to be as an intense survival shooter experience that is unique to any other game that I've ever played. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said before, leave your questions in the comment section below. If you are new, do subscribe to the YouTube channel for daily content here, and also check out the live streams Monday through Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays at noon.